Let me follow up on a phrase you just word, weaponization ambitions. Are you saying there that the United States did not see intelligence that the Supreme Leader had ordered weaponization?
That's irrelevant. I see that question being asked in the media. That's an irrelevant question. They have everything they need to build a weapon.
In U.S. intelligence assessments, you know that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it's not.
The political decision had not
I know that
been
better
made.
than you know that, and I know that that's not the case.
But I'm asking you whether the order was given.
And the people who say that, it doesn't matter if the order was given. They have everything they need to build nuclear weapons. Why would you bury things in a mountain, 300 feet under the ground?
Right.
Why would you bury why do they have 60% enriched uranium? You don't need 60% enriched uranium. The only countries in the world that have uranium at 60% are countries that have nuclear weapons because they can quickly make it 90. They have all the elements. Why do they have a space program? Is Iran going to go to the moon? No. They're trying to build an ICBM so they can one day put a warhead on it.
That's a question of intent. And you know in the intelligence assessment that it was that Iran wanted to be a threshold state and use this leverage. I'm talking about
what the
the
intelligence assessment says?
Assessment. And that's why I was asking you if you know something more from March.
But that's also an inaccurate representation of it. That's an accurate representation of it. That's not how intelligence is read. That's not how intelligence is used. Here's what the whole world knows. Now, forget about intelligence. What the IAEA knows. They are enriching uranium well beyond anything you need for a civil nuclear program. So why would you enrich uranium at 60%? Right. If you don't intend to one day use it to take it to 90 and build a weapon. Right. Why are you developing ICBMs? Why do you have 8,000 short-range missiles and 2,000 to 3,000 long mid-range missiles that you continue to develop? Why do you do all these things? They have everything they need for a nuclear weapon. They have the delivery mechanisms, they have the enrichment capability, they have the highly enriched uranium that is stored. Yes. That's all we need to see.
Right. Well,
especially in the hands of a regime that's already involved in terrorism and proxies and all kinds of things around. They are the source of all instability.
No one's disputing that. I'm not doing that here.
America. That's pretty much what happened this weekend. America. Fuck yeah. America. Fuck yeah. Like literally the puppet movie by Trey Parker and Matt Stone. America, fuck yeah. Like boom, boom, boom. 3 giant fireworks set off in the desert to destroy Iranian missiles.
We did it, guys. Yeah. We pranked Iran.
We pranked Iran.
So funny.
Got him. Got him. Ha ha. Joke's on you. They try to send some fireworks back to Israel.
Yeah.
I saw there are some videos on Instagram of people on vacation in Lebanon, and they were like, "Look at these fireworks going to Israel."
Yeah.
That's all I saw. Like nobody got hurt. I guess.
Yeah.
Do we know that?
It's so weird to just show them in the sky and then the damage. And
nobody got hurt. We just did what we needed to do. Nobody got hurt. And
extremely successful. Midnight Hammer.
Yeah.
Massive.
Huge
penetrator.
Hammer. Yeah.
That's how we do.
But that Marco Rubio clip's setting off there, man. He is giving off Brett Kavanaugh energy.
Yes.
Very defensive.
I'm very frustrated.
What do you mean?
Do you
understand? What? They just have a space program just to go to the moon? Maybe.
Precious calendars here. Yeah. You can clearly see that.
What if Persia wanted to go to the moon, huh? Who were we to stop them? India went to the moon. We didn't question that. We weren't like, oh my God, India. Well, actually, I think India already has nukes, don't they? But like, why did we give India nukes? Why did we let them have nukes? That's crazy.
I am actually extremely worried.
Does China have nukes? China has nukes. So then you have China and India have nukes. Like, I don't know. Like,
I feel like we need to enjoy our time now.
I'm always
all the small things, all the precious moments that we take for granted.
Yeah. Like what?
Not having your skin boil off your body.
That's nice.
Not starving to death.
I mean, the Texas sun kind of did that to me this weekend anyway. It's already boiling anyway. I feel like I'm already getting that radiation poisoning.
Yeah. Me too. we've been conditioning ourselves for the imminent reality.
I can't not be on the side of the underdog, though. Even though it's like a religious tyrant that like covers women's heads and like cuts people's hands off in the town square or whatever.
Your team Iran now?
I'm really anti-MIA.
I'm glad you said it.
I really am. I like,
Same.
yeah.
I've been learning Farsi.
Yeah.
I'm ready to fully embrace what happens next.
There was like that one guy that did that one video that like went there that one time. So maybe we can like
Yeah. That fucking guy said it was cool.
that ginger guy.
That fucking white guy with like
Crazy
colored hair
ginger
said it was
man.
great.
Crazy ginger man went to Iran.
Yeah.
And said it was great.
He was going around, said they have great senses of humor, great personalities. He was asking them, "What do you think about the whole world? Thinking that you're just a horrible, evil terrorist place?" And they said, "It's not." And that's all any of us needed to hear.
Iran is at the door. Dogs bark at the Iran at the door. No, but like the other thing with that was yeah, that was weird that he did that. That he just kept walking up to random normal people in the world and being like, "So everyone hates you and thinks you're disgusting."
What do you think about everyone hating Iran?
What do you
People, they should visit.
I came, I flew all the way here. I don't really have an opinion. What do you think of people hating your country?
They don't understand the beauty of Iran. I don't know what that voice was. I wasn't doing an accent.
But it's a decent it was still like a decent video because like you're not gonna get that anywhere else. Still, like you have to be that polite to even get in. Like we know what it is still. And honestly, like, well, the one thing I do have to say is, what is it? Mopesh? What was that? I sent it to you too.
Yeah.
The fucking guy.
Yeah.
What was his name? Mopesh? Is that what his name was?
Yeah.
There was this one independent journalist.
Mo News.
And he Mahesh.
Moshe.
Moshe. Okay,
Moshe?
Mo News is what he's saying. Mo News, MO News.
Moshe.
That works good enough. 500,000 followers. But if you go to his stories, you will actually see like the play-by-play in a nonpartisan way of everything that's going down, and it
was pretty good.
Thank God. Like, and honestly, like I've never wanted to pay for an actual premium service for an independent journalist before. It's always been like comedy or something silly or some kind of movie or something. But that was the first time that I was like, maybe it's not all a farce. Maybe there are people that can actually like give us the news on an actual event.
It was a pretty good collection of information.
It's pretty wild. But Marco Rubio getting in a fight with the lady on Sunday News.
I like that stuff too.
That's what it's all about.
I say to my politicians, I say, show me your passion. Mm-hmm. Show me that you bleed for your beliefs in this country. And Marco Rubio did that for me tonight.
Yeah, he did. He came in and he said, "Fuck your fucking show." I've already forgot what he said.
Me too.
He didn't really say anything important.
Is it possible?
He just got really frustrated like Brett Kavanaugh. That's all I remember. I just remember him just being like, "God, lady, Margaret, stop it."
Why would you try and ruin a young man's life like this?
Why would you do that? Why would you do this to poor Marco Rubio? He's just a poor little Cuban boy from Miami. Why would you do this to him? Make him answer the questions of Iran.
It's strange. They're not like giving us much information, and so the media, the questions that they're forming is based off of not knowing what the fuck anyone's about to do.
That's a really valid point, which is like the independent journalist is reporting on all of them doing all this nonsense. And if you just watch those stories on Instagram, you as just a normal citizen understand everything that's going on. But if you're in the media or if you're in the government, you're both just bickering over like hot topics, not understanding even what the fuck you're currently doing. They need to look at their own independent journalists to like cross-reference so they can like, they're like, oh yeah, we did do 3 bombs yesterday. Maybe people are mad at us today.
Oh yeah. They're mad.
But it is crazy.
They're not happy at all.
Because the reason that I say that, like, go like look at that Mo News or stuff like that is because you really need to. Because if you don't, you're gonna see the shit that I saw on like Facebook. I saw a Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, and she was saying, "You gotta really watch going on the subway the next week because of this whole thing Trump did." And it's like, that's an insane thing to say as the governor of New York. Don't go on the subway because I want to build an empty threat out of nowhere to scare the shit out of my citizens.
Yeah, dude.
Meanwhile, the independent journalist is like explaining to us, he's like, firework here, no uranium was leaked, we're all good.
Exactly.
America. And he's like, look, even if you hate Trump, still America. This is a big America thing. Even China's like, go America. Yeah. And we're like, oh, okay. Then you get cued in and you're like, no one's on Iran's side. This is a fucking crazy fucking religious tyrant. I watched a whole hour-long documentary on the guy in 1979 last night. It's insane. It's literally what happened was they were nobles. They were in like fucking medieval times type shit. And the last king was just like an inherited king. And he was like, okay, in order to modernize this place, we're going to start building, doing all these things, letting women do all the shit. That's where you get all those references from like people where they're like, women used to be in bikinis in Iran. Yeah, they were like in the 70s and all that shit. Then what happened was he kept refusing to allow for a democratic process and just kept staying king. Well, eventually it topples. And when it topples and he basically was stifling any political party. There was like pro-American parties, there's pro-British parties, there's pro-communist parties, and he would stifle them with the money from JFK and the American government and the CIA to like stop it over and over and over again, any political party that came up. Then when they topple him anyway, because you can't just be king for forever, that doesn't work. Yeah. Especially when you start modernizing and tell people like, oh, go to concerts, oh, have coffee shops, but also bow to your king. Like, only fucking English people are going to keep doing that. There's nothing wrong with them, but like everybody else, you got to like go past that part. And Iran did, but the only people that were legally allowed to run were religious parties. So then, like, think about it. It's like if Westboro Baptist Church was the only political party allowed into an infrastructure where you just topple the government and now you get to vote in parties. They're the only people speaking. Well, great. You're revolting against your king. They're the only people speaking. What's next? You're going to ask them. And they've been in charge for 45 years now. And like when you look at that Mo News stuff and you see, you're like, wait, he's saying even India, even China, even the fucking Hezbollah. That was the really funny one. Was they're saying that Iran had been funding Hezbollah for 40 years, and Hezbollah's like, we're not getting involved. Y'all fucking fuck off.
Nobody wants this drama.
And that's like, I mean, I don't know shit. And I also am not going to be a fucking Dave Smith and, be an asshole about it when it's like, oh, have you been there? Like, have you been? Like, you can't have an opinion. All that mockery of the fucking comedians. Like, I think, yeah, if you've been somewhere, you probably have a deeper opinion of something.
Him being on Piers Morgan actually is nuts. And it's so funny.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. I couldn't stop, mainly because of Dave Smith. And like, it seems like he and Pierce are like buddies. Like,
they're like in the coots.
Yeah. But especially because they have like Israel officials on and they just keep asking like, what's the death toll? And they like can't answer, but then they're also like, it's pretty proportionate ratio. And they're like, you said you didn't know the death toll. And they're like, no, but we like, okay, so here's the thing.
I don't think anybody fucking knows shit.
No.
I think the one thing I would fight for is like the food bank people, but then I heard like a whole thing about the World Food Bank and that like they were actually funneling in like guns and shit. So it's like, I don't fucking know. Like, and if you're in a, like, especially now with Iran shooting missiles at them, it's like, get the fuck out of there. Like, there was a whole thing with Ron DeSantis in Florida where they did like a whole press conference in Tampa Bay. They secretly like psyoped and like brought back 30 U.S. citizens, and they were like, we have removed these 30 citizens. They were being rescued from Israel, and I'm just like thinking to myself, I'm like, rescued from Israel? Like, it's fucking insane to say, especially as like a Republican governor in a state of mostly retired Jewish New Yorkers.
I don't know if you like, I've seen reports of like people in Iran that are like, I saw like the BBC did, like interviewed this British guy who said that when the bombs hit, like the embassy wouldn't get back to him. Nobody would like engage with him. And I think he's kind of just like stuck in the wind out there. Everybody in Iran is trying to get out.
Well, and I think that was the
if
whole
they
thing.
can.
But this wasn't even in Iran. This is like Ron DeSantis is doing a press conference being like, we rescued 30 U.S. citizens that were trapped in Israel. I'm like, trapped in Israel? Like, half your state is rich Jewish like retirees. Like, you're essentially like acting like Israel's a place you can't just go and be. Like, if you asked Netanyahu today, hey, do you want to go fucking vacation in Israel? But it's fine. We have the fucking shield, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, wait, how were they trapped?
Apparently, I don't know. That's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is kind of crazy, but it also makes sense because it's like Ron DeSantis as well as Abbott, and that's why everybody, like, side note, hoping that he fucking does veto this whole THC thing because this is crazy.
Pause.
Please veto.
So, like, what about Gaza?
Yeah. So yeah,
That's what I keep thinking.
Yeah,
I'm
we
like,
forgot about Gaza.
Dude, if like,
But
I
here's the
mean,
thing. You know that
the
Fordo.
whole world's talking shit, and you're just like, all right, you do something even crazier, throw missiles at Iran, and you're like, no, it's for real because they're doing something that is so fucked up. And then the U.S. kind of gets involved too. It's very high school. And now it's like, nobody's even talking about that, about all those kids that you treat like shit.
But it's also like, if they're going to go to do this Fordo thing and like go and blow up this fucking facility, and they did that huge bomb like that, and they spent all that money. That was a lot of money. It's like more money than me and you would ever pay in taxes our entire.
This is the thing.
You know what I mean? Like
the whole world,
being in the middle income, like
the whole world
like,
was started to talk shit on Israel, and Israel was like, it's embarrassing. Okay, now brand new thought. Yeah. So now the whole world is kind of making fun of Iran a little bit. They're like, ooh, they got. And then what you're saying earlier.
You are right. You are, yeah, they are. They kind of got on Israel's side this way.
The mayor of New York saying, be careful when you're on the subway. This is what happens. Governor. Yeah, sorry, I know who the mayor is. Excuse me. Or do I?
Governor's a black guy.
I am pretty retarded.
And soon to be this guy. Comeback of the century, Andrew Cuomo. Let's do it.
So what you're saying earlier about like him saying, be careful in the subway, and like when you say a thing like that, it has an effect. It has a ripple effect. And so all these people, like Americans on the media that are calling Trump a bully, what I heard Iran say, they posted on Truth social media or
Iran posted on Truth social media. They signed up just for the content, just fucking troll.
Well, Iran then tweeted. They said Iran will not be bullied, and it's like, why did you plant that seed? The hate for Donald Trump is superseding all reason to the point where, like, I'm seeing it have this effect
Well, I think that they're putting it out there because I think that they were honestly, okay, again, like Hezbollah is very close to Hamas. Hamas, you can say, is another funded organization of Iran because of the opposite of Israel. There's two factors here. There's Israel and then there's Iran. So Iran's funding these little organizations. That's fucking Hamas there.
Yeah.
So they're fucking funding these things in that whole area. Fuck, I forgot what my thought was there.
You think Netanyahu has his back against the wall real hard right now? He's like, oh boy.
No, I was getting at the whole thing with Iran, where you were like saying, you were saying that Iran was like, oh, we will not be bullied. The reason they put that kind of thing out there is because it worked after October 7th for some reason. And I think it's because there's just been a rooted hatred over years and years and years of understanding that Israel's kind of getting favored treatment and they're essentially just the United States in the Middle East getting involved. All right, great. Can we just, like, at this point, if we're going to do this whole Middle East war fucking thing, can we just be like, Israel, you're not a fucking country, you're a state, you're part of the United States, fucking game on. Like, game the fuck on. Like, let's go now. Like, let's not give up more territory like we did with Afghanistan. We should have had a northern territory there. And just fucking run it through the mill. Because it's west versus east. It's one or the other.
Is that what they want?
Like, no, I don't think that they want that. I think they want everybody to stay the fuck out of it. And I think that Russia and China, with their communism, continue to promise them that, being like, well, you can be your own people. You can be your own thing. And it's like, no, you're still telling fucking Iran that they should need to walk out in a town square and listen to a communist thing. Like, you're still trying to get communism in Iran. Iran probably just wants to be fucking sheep herders, listen to the fucking Muslim Bible, Quran, and just being and chill. They're never going to get that. It's fucking America or fucking Russia. It's one or the other. So, like, and we've been doing this since, like, before me or you were born. We were both talking about this with, like, Desert Storm and Desert Shield, and that whole era was, like, when we were born. And it was like, okay, fucking Russia invaded Afghanistan, I think, in 88.
Yeah.
It's like, so that fucking Fordo bomb that we saw on Hannity, why don't we just drop that on some people and just be done like we were with Japan? Because, like, Japan looking pretty cool right now. They're coming out with the PlayStation. They doing, like, did you see South Korea? They got, like, nice cars. Kia, Hyundai. They're, like, mocking, like, Tesla. They're trying to be self-driving, and they're also gas. It's like what America wants. You bomb somebody, and then they learn their lesson. If you bomb the fucking middle of the desert, I don't see a lesson learned.
With, like, retaliation, that is the thing.
If you murder 90,000 people in a town square, they're going to make a next PlayStation. There's look what happened in Germany. You fucking you told Germany, no, you're not even allowed to have an economy. Builds a great car. Like, that's Autobahn.
Right.
What else did they do besides cars? I mean, the cars were kind of Nazi already. Germany come up with anything after World War II?
They haven't done anything.
They
were like the first ones to let too many refugees into their country.
That's their number one prize.
They broke the mold on that one.
We were the first ones.
Angela Merkel. What a baddie. And then people not like her so much.
And she's just like, bye.
Yeah. Just, oh, God.
Later.
What have I done?
Oh. You start talking about Angela Merkel. All right, okay.
So the thing with the U.S. and retaliation is there's this huge ocean in between us and everybody else on all sides. And so when we talk about retaliation, it's funny because it, like, we can say, like, oh, we're all going to die. That's it. Bye. Had a good run. But it's going to be Israel, like, paying the price
Well, no, like as Ted Cruz said, we can do a lot of things.
Can we?
As Ted Cruz,
Can we do a lot of things?
As Tucker Carlson then said, who is we?
Oh, fuck. I didn't watch that. And honestly,
Who is we?
that was the thing I wanted to watch so bad. And that is exactly.
You gotta see it.
The phone and use it's in Genesis, but so you're quoting a Bible phrase you don't have context for. And you don't.
All right. Let's talk about the Bible. Let's talk about why people are saying this. Okay. So.
Give us the lesson, Kelly.
There was Jacob. And God loved Jacob because Jacob wrestled with man and God and won. He got God to think differently. I'm not so sure I'm right about that, but he was a special guy. That's how he got his name, Israel.
Oh, okay. So Jacob,
which
is the first angel thing.
No, he's not an angel. He's just a man.
Well, Jacob wrestles with God. How can he wrestle with God if he's just man?
Okay. What am
He
I?
has to be half man.
What are you? Tucker Carlson? I can't remember the story exactly. Okay. But I actually can't remember what happened, but there was something that happened
Jacob is Israel. That is point. Okay.
Okay, so Jacob got the name Israel from wrestling with man and God and winning. Israel means is I don't fucking remember actually. Man, boy, it would be cool if I did remember it and if I were prepared.
I can
but the promised land, the land that God promised, he promised to the Jacobites. He promised to the Israelites, sons of Jacob. You see what I'm saying here? Jacob and his family. And the people in Israel, I don't know if any of them are Jacobites. I think they all might be Canaanites.
Oh, because Jacob and Cain. Wait, no, I thought it was Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
But who's Jacob then?
One of Abel's. No, not Abel's descendants. Sorry.
Cain's descendants?
I think one of Seth's.
Seth?
God damn it.
Who the fuck is Seth?
He was replacement child for Abel.
See, this is the problem with
Seth had Noah.
with this fucking
Noah
goddamn
had
bullshit.
some kids.
I just asked it a very simple question and gave me the most fucking ridiculous answer in the world.
Yeah. So, anyways, the promised land is promised to Jacob and the Jacobites, or Jacob, aka Israel, and the Israelites. Well, guess what? The nation of Israel is not that. God didn't promise a nation to anybody. People are leaning on that so hard. Guess what? DNA tests are not allowed in Israel. They're outlawed.
Actually, abortion is legal in Israel, but it's not entirely unrestricted. There are a few specific conditions under which a woman can legally have an abortion. Would you like me to explain those conditions?
Yeah, a little bit. Quickly. Do it quickly.
Okay, here's the deal with abortion in Israel. It's not totally straightforward. There are a few specific situations where it's allowed. Want me to break down the details?
No. Are DNA tests allowed in Israel? Wait.
Yes, DNA tests are allowed in Israel.
Okay, my bad. That was dumb.
Yeah, no.
We need the genealogy and shit.
So what's on your mind?
Can 23andMe be a thing in Israel? Can people in Israel do 23andMe?
That's a bit tricky. While DNA testing is used in Israel, it's mainly for things like criminal investigations. Companies like 23andMe don't operate there due to privacy laws. Did you have a specific reason for asking about 23andMe in Israel?
She is a anti-Semite,
No!
and she thinks this is some conspiracy theory where the government wants to hold DNA so that we don't know that the
He's
Jewish
fucking
people
setting
aren't
me up
really
for
Jewish.
sure, though.
Is that real? Is that real? Is
any
Israel
reason
not
why
really
you
Jewish?
might be asking about
Wait,
that?
Is Israel not really Jewish?
It's not accurate to say that Jewish people aren't really Jewish. Jewish identity is complex and has historical, religious, and cultural.
Yeah, it's like a race of people. It's complicated.
We get that part. I'm saying, is
But
the people.
idea that Jewish people aren't truly Jewish is rooted in anti-Semitism.
Hey, I just want to know, are the people in Israel that live there, do we really know, are they really Jewish?
It's important to understand that Jewish identity isn't solely based on DNA.
Okay, pause.
Complex mix.
Because
What is that bullshit?
no, it
That's
doesn't
so
have anything to
weird.
be with being Jewish. In the Bible, when like it became a thing, it was they were the Hebrews, and the Hebrews were enslaved by the Egyptians.
Okay.
And that's where the story of Moses and all of that comes from.
Okay.
And so Moses was a descendant of Jacob. And so Moses was promised the promised land because he was a descendant of Jacob. Well,
Yeah.
then Moses said, wait, I can't just like leave all the other slaves. They're Hebrews just like me. And so God is like, you know what? I fucked with Jacob so much. I love Jacob so much. And you're kind of like him. You came from him in a way. And so, all right, fair enough. Square. They can come. And then that's when like,
Right. But
the frogs,
all that stuff.
the
But
locusts.
but my thing is like,
so
that is the ultimate
the other
question.
Hebrews got to come because Moses was like, please. And then even then, like I've explained to you before, even then they crossed the Red Sea. They were crossing through the desert to the promised land. And God was so annoyed with them.
But
They're just complaining all the time. They're like, where are we going? How much further? We're tired of eating manna. And God was like having private conversations with Moses, being like, dude, I can't fucking do it. Like, I hate this. I hate that.
So Moses was masturbating while everybody's complaining. I'm giving the historically accurate representation of this account. There's a man named Moses. He was a slave. He was a Jew. And
He was a Hebrew.
he took the other. Well, apparently, like, this is the thing. I'm caught up on this now. What is Jew? Because I just said,
Hebrew.
are the people in Israel Jewish? And no one's going to be able to answer that question for me.
It's complicated. Here's why.
Why is that?
It takes a billion fucking years to even try and explain. And then it's also just like, try and like maintain a train of thought. Try and maintain some fucking focus on that story with the loops and the it's a never ending story.
Well, where did the black Israelites get into all this? Because they're somewhere. There were black people in Egypt. Nobody wants to talk about that part.
So the people in Israel are not necessarily Israelites. Do you see what I'm saying?
So they could
God promised this. The promised land was promised to a certain, like, to Jacob and his line. If like any of Jacob's line like fucked a black person, if they like brought black people into the line, then whatever. Yeah, sure. But the other people got to come because of Moses's like kind heart. And Moses didn't even like being a leader like this either. It was overwhelming and it sucked. And it wasn't fun for him at all. He was constantly being challenged, constantly being questioned. And so to say that you are promised that land without even knowing if you are like, if you fit into that true, like,
but how would they ever test the descendancy?
Exactly.
You are claiming it by just
doing it. So
doing
they've been getting away with saying like, this was the land promised to us. And it's like, it's not. It's not. It's really not.
Okay, but right. So
and
then
everybody has lost the plot so much. Like, this is kind of why I started reading the Bible, because I was like, let's see what they're actually fucking saying about this. And it's like, but Kelly, not anything anybody else says.
I don't think that they're losing the plot. I think that's the point. They're using the Bible, the number one historical, like the number one fucking book, English book. It's number one English book. All right.
That's what I meant by losing the plot. They're exploiting it.
But like we're literally taking that and going, we have no solution to this problem that it's ever evolving and complex. We need to give this religion some sort of area, some livable place, like, you know, like it. I understand it because it's like when you go to have you ever been to like a modern church and they like talk in metaphor and practicality, and you start to like, you get more out of it because you see them as just like a motivational speaker or like a speaker. You're like, oh, okay, today's lesson is all about like self-growth. And we're going to go through this allegory in the Bible for that. Fundamentally, even as much as I want to make fun of Ted Cruz, I think that's kind of what he's doing here, which is like, no, don't you get it? Since the 50s, we have used this metaphor, Israel, to protect these people that were ostracized in Germany so that they can have this land. Because if we don't, shit goes boom, boom. Shit goes fucking haywire. We get back into another thing like this. So we have to keep blowing up all the Muslims or the Christians don't win. And the Christians have to win or we lose. Less Taco Bell, less McDonald's. What do you think these people eat? Rice and fucking chicken with their hands in a fucking market. No. Strip malls everywhere. America.
The rice and chicken with your hands isn't so bad, honestly. It's pretty chill, actually.
Crazy to me. When I was watching that in that video,
It's
I was
nice.
like, that's why Iran is bad.
It's nice. Everybody sits around a big bowl and you just eat as much as you can with your hands. It's
All right, we gotta get to another video.
thing. I think it's the thing they like to do on like Mondays is like couscous day. You know, like we have like Taco
Is that what
Tuesdays.
you do? You just make fucking Iranian food by yourself, and you're an op. You're an op.
I try to be patient with Alex because he's not as cultured as I. And I keep that in mind during these recordings. You're back.
No, I mean, you're sitting here trying to do all this bullshit. It's so funny because, like, I literally gave her the mic this week, people, because I think it might be a better podcast if I'm not talking the whole fucking time. All right.
I agree.
Help us understand about the president's decision-making process here, because certainly I think there are many in MAGA world who may have been surprised that he did this, but tell us what you know.
Why would you be surprised? I mean, Donald Trump has been clear-eyed and full of resolve about the Iranian threat for 20 years. He has always said you can't have peace if Iran has a nuclear weapon. And I would also say that my observations of him over the last few months are that things are running quite smoothly over in the White House and at the Pentagon. Look what happened. The deception that was involved here, no leaks, the resolve, the precision, execution. We have a commander-in-chief right now who is decisive and who knows how to operate a government and operate a military operation with absolute precision. The level of deterrence that this will put throughout the world that our enemies should be perceiving is very, very high. This is a great day for this president, and it's a great day for the world because he's making us safe for Western civilization.
More Iran stuff, but the one thing that I will say about this is that I'm team Donald Trump, and I will bring up that there is another.
What?
There's a new team
kidding.
here now. The man, the myth, the legend. We saw a comeback from Louis C.K. He is going to be here in Austin in September, but now, Mr. Save the Pandemic rescued us all in June of 2020.
He successfully exploited a situation to his benefit.
Signature and point.
Very
The
impressive.
revolution is on. The cancellation of Louis C.K. is over. We are on to Andrew Cuomo coming back. The comeback kid. He's literally going to become the mayor, and then he's going to become the president, possibly. All because he is the only person to say Donald Trump, you bad, without like being like, the whole fucking thing does it.
It was nice to finally see like a reasoned out complaint, but at the same time, it's like it's so transparent what you're doing. You're capitalizing off of the Donald Trump hate. How are you gonna not and still be mayor of New York? So well played. You did good.
But I think
Andy.
when you look at that play though, up against what Hochul did, it's like if they're both doing plays for being president, I think you're fucking insane to think that you're not going to cause chaos and people to vote against you by fear-mongering instead of just having a statured response against them. Because, like, he was going at Trump. He was trying to, like, be in the Elon kind of thing, where he was like, I don't do tweets, I do press releases. Boom. Like, he was trying to, like, be, like, old school fucking Bill. Also, Bill Clinton endorsed him for fucking
I like
NYC.
to stick to the less accessible form of communication. Just a little thing I like
see
so
me
many
on
times.
Cable news. Yeah, like Bill Clinton literally endorsed him for NYC mayor like 12 hours ago. He's running up in the polls on the fucking ballot. The thing is just like with Joe Biden, these Democrats, they did this whole ranked choice voting in New York, and it's actually coming back to bite them because they had this Muslim, like, radical candidate that was going to do, like, Sharia law and, like, weird-ass shit where he was basically, I mean, not Sharia law because he wasn't saying that. That was, like, the Republicans were saying he was going to do that. But the thing that he was proposing, his big thing, was, get this, Kelly, he was going to have state-run grocery stores. He was going to make sure that everything that you bought could be at 50% and you could go into a state-run bodega in New York. So how does that work?
Communism, let's try it.
It just doesn't seem like
What
it
could
would
go wrong?
I just feel like you couldn't do that like that close to Wall Street. It's just like, yeah, we're just gonna try communism out across the street.
This is like, oh my God. This is why it's so hard
So that's why this guy won.
to
Even though
look at the Democratic Party these days or listen to anything they say, because it's all just like, what are you talking about?
He said he solved the pandemic, created this poster in June of 2020, and now the man is back. He's going to become the mayor of New York City.
He probably is.
Because there's this other crazy fucking Muslim guy being like, state-run grocery stores. Like, but I feel like Cuomo's response, as much as I am Donald Trump's side, and that kind of like, it's crazy because
that guy is like, he's pretty cool. He's just so like,
well, he's a Democrat. He's the Trump version of a Democrat. Like,
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I don't understand why he hasn't been interviewed by Joe Rogan yet.
And shake things up. Yeah, like, actually, yeah,
for real. Like,
or maybe he's like, does he think that Joe Rogan helped Donald Trump win or something? So he's like,
it's too dated for him. He's like, maybe. I can't go on a podcast. That's not traditional enough. I'll send a press release about why I won't go on a podcast.
Is that actually what he's like? He's like,
okay. It feels that way. Like, the dude didn't tweet
why don't you go on a pod? That's our world now. That's our culture. If he was a real one, he'd go on the pod.
Yeah, he'd go
on Rogan.
Yeah.
That's nuts. These are weird things that, like, we the people, weird standards that we're creating in our minds and perpetuating.
Like, if you really fucking cared about being mayor of New York, you'd jump on Rogan.
This is so for real. We said it about Kamala too. Mm-hmm. Now I'm thinking about it, and I was so dead ass serious when I said it too. I'm like, well, why doesn't she just pop up?
I feel like, well, the thing is that, like,
this is goofy.
Presidential campaigns, like, really did, especially with Trump. I don't think that Trump did it, but they did it to Trump by Trump being a reality star and the first time he ran for president. But everything after that, like, we the people look at the presidential race as a pop culture race, as a reality show that, like, the news media is giving us. So then when you're, like, already 8 years into the reality show, you're like, this is the third run. This is the third season. And you're like, you're not even going to show up to the interview? You're just going to go episode 1, episode 5? And he got shot in his episode 2? There's no fucking way. She, like, did the convention. She's like, episode 1, episode 3, and fucking 10. We're done. Season's over. Mini-series. And we're like, excuse me, this man did 6 episodes, and they are much more interesting. That's literally why he won, I feel like.
Subject change.
Yeah.
I'm finding it hard to talk about Iran because I don't know.
Because you're Iranian?
I think besides me being obviously Iranian and fully in support of them, and also when I said I'm learning Farsi, I don't even know if they speak that. I think Afghanistan speaks Farsi.
I mean, the cool thing is calling Persian now.
Gosh, it sucks to be retarded.
It's kind of like if you're like Republican in the Russia-Ukraine, you go the Ukraine to like offend people.
Yeah.
If you're like pro Iran, you literally don't say Iran.
You're
like
pro Iran.
You literally say Persia. You're like, he bombed Persia. Can you believe they bombed Persia? And you're like, what the fuck? That shit don't even exist anymore. Like, I don't know what Iran is. I don't know what Muslims are. There's no radical people in charge. They just
Iran,
bombed fucking Persia.
Great senses of humor. Sharp dressers.
Solid.
Designer brand drip. Decent people. I don't know what to say because it's all happening like right now. And so, like we were saying, a lot of podcasts, a lot of news people are like,
well, if you were going to give your
acting like
choice,
they don't know what to say.
No,
they're like, we don't know yet.
Let's make our choice based on what we know, which is like, we're at the point right now, people, where the 3 bombs were dropped on 3 nuclear facilities, and there's a lot of speculation as to what happens next, but we know that they shot
not
some
just
fireworks
that,
now.
but like there's speculation around like the claim that they were obliterated.
Okay.
Super successful mission.
So what do you think?
They were
of
damaged.
It? What do you think of it?
I don't know. No one knows.
Well, I know we don't know. Don't be like too educated.
So
Just
I'm
like,
hearing
choose
these.
I'm Team Trump. I fucking win. Cuomo or Trump, pick one.
Well, yeah. Pick the winner. I'm gonna pick Trump.
Pick the winner.
Oh, fuck.
Not the guy that's rubbing your shoulders later. You remember that? That's literally why this man got canceled for rubbing shoulders. That's how weak.
I wonder how Joe
He
Biden's
literally had to
doing.
leave being governor for rubbing someone's shoulders.
He shouldn't have done that. Wait, why did he do that? That's kind of weird.
He said it was because he was Italian.
Oh, come on. Here's the reason why I'm making a face. Because everyone says that if they're Italian at all, they're like, I do stuff with my hands. I like to touch. I like to gesticulate. I have to.
I'm just Italian.
It's like,
You're like fucking fingers down your throat, and you're like, "Why are you doing this to me? I'm just Italian."
what is like a good version of an apology where you're like, I'm Italian. You're like, I shouldn't have done that. I'm senseless. I need to understand boundaries better. It's all due to me being Italian. Oh my God.
When you drop my pizza.
Oops, I was accidentally racist. I didn't mean to be.
Yeah.
I didn't know where I was going with all that, and then it ended up being racist, and sometimes that just happens.
That does bring up a valid point. The last point before we go to the next clip, I do need to bring up, which is there is a lot of Italian American culture. And the Italians of anybody in the world, I don't think we're Italian. Are you Italian? I'm not Italian.
German and Irish.
So we're not Italian. We're part of the whole like problem. We just kind of stuck around after the revolution. But you Italians, you're the whole reason this thing happened. You're the reason that you like fought later for it later and all this shit. Like America culturally, like Goodfellas, The Godfather, like it's Italians, okay? So if we want to fight the Jews, it's gonna have to be you guys. It's gonna have to be the pizza people. You have to do it.
We're gonna need
the
our
rest of us.
Italians. We're gonna need
a lot of
that
Italians.
touchy-feely culture and hand-to-hand combat. We're gonna need the comfort level of the touchy-feely culture of Italy in our hand-to-hand combat. They're the only people who are truly that comfortable with touchy-feeliness hands.
And we all know the only way you can beat an Iranian is if you grope them correctly. Grappling is needed. Israelis are not that good at that. It's where the Italians come in.
Bro, you got me with correctly. If you grope them correctly.
Well, I was surprised. I think a lot of people were. They did a good job of kind of throwing off the scent when they claimed that B-2s were headed west, and actually they were headed east. The whole idea when the president said like 2 weeks and then he bombed within that window, I think was smart to catch Iran off guard. But yeah, I think one of the things that drives me crazy in foreign policy, and it always has, I was critical of my own party when Obama went into Libya, is it seems like people oppose a president just based on his party. And if you truly oppose the strikes in Iran, I respect that. I fully understand it and respect it. It's when somebody opposes something because somebody of the other party is doing it on foreign policy, particularly, that I think that's where it gets a little dangerous. So I do think this was the right move, very limited. I think now just defending American troops in the region, trying to sue for peace with Iran, and I think that would be the right move.
Adding Kinzinger, this guy was my rep back in Illinois. He is one of the few Liz Cheney-ites that left. He was a Republican and was like, January 6th, insurrection, I can't be a fucking House rep anymore. I need to be on CNN instead. And so now he does this. But I think he did better than Cuomo. I think he might be the Democrat. That was some weaselly
so funny
shit, wasn't
to
it?
start like saying people's names followed by ites. The Cheney-ites fucked me up.
But I do. I think that he's the weasel. I think he's the one. I think he is the House of Cards. He's got it. He's got it more than Cuomo, even if Cuomo wins mayor. Because Cuomo's got to resign from mayor quickly, which you got to pull that off in the mainstream market. That's very hard. He might just stay mayor. Kinzinger has been sitting on the sideline the whole time, writing this book, being on CNN. And for him to come out and the first thing he goes on CNN, he's like, bomb him! That was great! Very Lindsey Graham, very Republican, heavy-handed, solid work from adding Kinzinger. And just stay away from the insurrection talk, and you might be able to. Well, what's he gonna do? He has to. Oh, he's thinking about, because that's the thing. There is going to be a crazy Republican primary because Trump has kind of made it the thing where anybody can go up against you, and Trump can't be in there. So JD's obviously going to be the endorsement of Trump, hopefully. But then after that, you still got to watch out for Tulsi
Wouldn't
Gabbard.
that be crazy? Hold on, pause.
It
Wouldn't
would
that
be crazy.
Wild.
It would be amazing.
Appalachian man
It would be amazing.
becomes president.
But I'm telling you what we have to watch out for here, which is Adam Kinzinger out here in Illinois. He's been fucking anti-insurrection since the day he started. And then you got the fucking Tulsi Gabbard, who's like, I'm a Democrat, I'm Hawaii, but I'm also like fucking Joe Rogan, and she'll get the Joe Rogan interview. What if there's like 3 of them, and the only one that gets a Joe Rogan interview is Tulsi? He's like, no, JD, you're not allowed anymore. The only interview is Tulsi Gabbard, and she wins. It could happen. So you just got to watch out for these Hawaiian, Illinoisan, weird people.
Maybe it could happen, but also I don't think that Joe Rogan would ever like
not
all of
interview
a
somebody
sudden
on
be
there.
like, yeah. All of a sudden, I have realized how petty I can be.
I mean, he is getting more Republican though, so I can see him only interviewing Republican primary candidates though. But I can see him taking all of them, most of them.
Can you blame anyone for wanting to be more Republican these days?
It's still more fun.
That's the thing that I'm feeling. Yeah, because I've been a lifelong Democrat, lifelong liberal, and all of a sudden I'm like, I don't like a single thing that I'm seeing.
Well, and that's the thing is,
it's
the number one
crazy.
thing to get excited about as a Democrat is the thing that will make all of your friends immediately still cancel you, which is to get excited about this guy.
Yeah.
And that still wasn't all that exciting. What he
Yeah.
said was like educated and like poised and democratic. But I think it was still wrong.
This is
and I
what
think it's like
there's a population
didn't Obama
of
do
people
the same fucking
that, like,
thing, and you're like not like, you know what I mean?
You
You're clearly
cannot be
setting
so
yourself up.
blinded by hatred. I will not get behind it. And I was definitely like, oppose Trump, not my president the first time around. But like the way that it's happening now,
I was
it's
still
just
anti-Republican.
so fickle. I'm anti either side. I'm
But I
like,
wasn't-
we
I
gotta
wasn't-
start talking to each other like
I wasn't
normal.
I wasn't
People
Trump hate.
gotta stop being entitled. They
But-
gotta stop gaslighting each other, and they gotta just fucking start being human. Get back to the whole reason why you're doing this. Just be human.
We're just making money and dropping bombs on Iran.
It's like a giant chess game, or it was, and now it's like we're playing chess on TMZ. That's how it feels. It's like
it really does, because but are we really playing? We are playing chess on TMZ, and it kind of sucks because it's like you would hope that the villains would be better. You'd hope that Vladimir Putin would be like, I'm not showing up to TMZ. I'm gonna fucking just bomb you guys instead.
And it's so upsetting to hear that.
It's just like some shit talk
and receive it so completely because we have learned to be disappointed in the hero.
Yeah.
Not trust the hero. Yeah. There is no hero.
There's no fucking hero.
There's no hero because you did this and you did that. Maybe you're doing a lot of good things now, but guess what?
You heard from Mitch McConnell, the former Republican leader, the senator, say it was a bad week for the isolationists. He was talking about Tucker Carlson and he was talking about Steve Bannon. Do you think that the president is making a choice here, or is he trying to have it both ways? Both saying, I'm going to please the hawks of the party by bombing, but then I'm going to say I want a peace deal and make the isolationists happy by saying, I'm not committing to anything more than one and done.
Well, I'll concede this. It was a good week for the neocons and the military-industrial complex who want war all the time. I wouldn't call my side of the MAGA base isolationists. We are exhausted. We are tired from all of these wars, and we're non-interventionists. I mean, this was one of the promises. I mean, are you going to call President Trump's campaign an isolationist campaign? What he promised us was we would put America first. And I think there are still voices in this administration. You've still got J.D. Vance. You've still got Tulsi Gabbard. You still, RFK Jr., you still got calmer heads that could prevail.
So all those people you listed were in the Situation Room, which was the whole TMZ event with Tulsi Gabbard, where they're saying that she was on the outs for a minute there, but she was in that room when that happened. But is Tucker Carlson wrong, or is he right?
Be more specific about what?
About this whole bombing. Like, he was being very snarky against Ted Cruz. I mean, obviously Ted Cruz is going to look like a buffoon, but is Tucker Carlson right for saying, who the fuck are we to help Israel bomb Iran?
Yes.
It feels right, but it also feels anti-American as fuck.
If it does, we don't get involved in other people's wars, and so that's what I'm saying. It's very confusing. It's very confusing that Israel would hit Iran like that. It's very confusing that America would back them up. I'm like, did they have knowledge that was actual
I mean, Ted Cruz made it way less confusing when he was like, we. And it's very, very fucking clear it's always been we. And that's why I said earlier, and I'll say it again, which is it should just be a state. Israel should just be a state of the United States because it's what it is.
At this point,
it's what it's doing.
All I'm saying is it might be what is best for.
Because what are they doing? Basically, you're letting them do their own decisions outside of our control. If you just treated them the same as Puerto Rico, they would have way less control, and then we would be able to operate the way we want to operate. And if we have to fund their bombs anyway,
yeah,
why the fuck aren't we telling them that that's the deal?
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest.
The deal is you're Puerto Rico.
Control.
You're the fucking Puerto Rico of the Middle East. That's the deal. Now we'll bomb Iran.
None of this is within our control at all. I guess I might say Trump is the only one acting like it.
But then, so you're saying Trump isn't in control? He kind of had to drop these bombs? That's the fucking triangle conspiracy of the Illuminati. Israel's in charge of the United States. Because if not,
I didn't say any of that.
No, but if they aren't, if we're in charge of them, then why wouldn't we just put them in their place? Why wouldn't Trump, the Trumpian person he is, say, I'll use the B2, but the only way I'm using this B2 is if you're now fucking territory and you now listen to me and your fucking voting body is doing what I want. Instead, they're like, no, you're still a sovereign nation and we're just helping you out because you're Jews. That's fucking weird. That's a weird
Honestly,
fucking
I think that's what Israel
just give
might
somebody-
need right now, to just be like, no, this is what's happening. Like, no, this is bad. What you're doing, it's not good. And
You can have your little votes because we believe in democracy and we're the United States, but other than
Daddy's
that,
home.
We're fucking done.
Daddy's home.
You see those bombs?
And we're not going to.
You want some too?
Wait, what are we saying? Yeah. Because we
That's what I feel like we should be saying. We should
we
be like
did what they did.
for them and didn't get anything out of it. We're
No.
saying, oh, we did it to protect ourselves. Fuck that. We influenced a war between Israel and Iran and helped Israel out and did not get a single thing out of it from the guy who's independent president art of the deal.
It doesn't feel like a good message to the rest of the world. Unless there was like viable information that what Netanyahu proposed is true. That Israel that Iran had like.
And that was the thing. The Mo News was very much that way, where it was like saying like China's not getting involved, Hezbollah's not getting involved.
Pause.
Like,
Let's break this down. Everyone says Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. Why? Let's discuss why.
well, their response is
everyone
they're
is saying
because they were
they
a
can't.
religious.
That's all they're
state.
saying.
Because they're a religious state. To which we then make the, like, people like David Smith would make the argument, well, Mike Huckabee and fucking Glenn Beck are over here in Donald Trump's ear and they are Christian radicals and there's no difference in Christian radicalism or even Israel as a nation versus fucking Iran. When I ask my chatbot, are the people of fucking Israel Jewish, and it can't answer the question for me, it seems like maybe Israel is a fucking religious state. And if Israel's a religious state with nuclear bombs, then who the fuck are we to say the reason Iran can't have nuclear bombs is because they're a religious state? However, if you notice, all the Democrats and everybody aren't really arguing that, because at the end of the day, the people that are on Iran's side, China, Hezbollah, all these, Russia, aren't helping them out. Because maybe they are radical. Maybe they are a little.
Here's a new thought. Because
maybe it's like ISIS.
Israel, like Iran, has a lot of World Heritage sites, but Israel is the World Heritage site. All of our religions tie back to some shit in Israel.
To Jerusalem.
So maybe Israel shouldn't have a leader. Maybe Israel should be led by the rest of the world.
Well, that's what we did. That's what this was, Kelly. After World War II, after the Nazi takeover, after all this stuff, is we literally said, all right, Israel's its own nation. No one's in charge of it. It's just a sovereign religious state to protect all. No, it's not. It's protecting just the Jews. And why is it protecting just the Jews? Well, Ted Cruz letting the fucking cat out of the bag because he's wee. We're all fucking momming them. And then we literally go and drop the bombs. And then, like, I asked the question to you, and I would say it even in the back. We're dropping bombs. The guy that did the art of the deal, who's the most independent president of the last century, is dropping the bombs for Israel, and we're not getting anything in return. Are we in charge or is Israel in charge? What is Israel? It sounds like Israel's exactly the idea that you came up with, which is, well, we can't say the United States is in charge of this area. We have to say it's a sovereign nation. But that doesn't really work because the fucking farmland and the people around it, the Palestinians, they're like, this is some bullshit. These are Americans.
I'm
These are
saying, I have like a half-baked dumbass idea where I'm like,
how are you gonna fix it?
Anything that you come up with like this, it's like there are a billion reasons why this cannot be done, why this has not been done. I'm like, let's have a UN council on the maintenance of Israel.
Here's the problem. I will literally say what the problem is.
Here's one of them.
Palestine does not have a seat at that table because the UN will not acknowledge Palestine as a nation. If they did, then we could be right there.
Palestine? What?
But instead,
I forgot about them.
The Palestine. Exactly.
What?
Instead, they have to talk through.
Are they okay? I feel like they're still starving, and we're just looking at a different thing now. And
what about the Jews that are in Palestine? But there are those too. That's what I'm looking out for. The Jews in Palestine. What about those African
they're
farmers?
in the wrong place.
We all stopped talking about
they're
those African
fish out of water. They're
those white farmers from
awkward.
that white genocide.
Right.
You forgot about that, right? We all forgot about that. We always forget about the white genocide so quickly.
Naked
"Can
just
I yell
headlines.
too?" No. All right. Dude. Come on.
Are we playing? Are you mad at me? Are you mad at
That's
me?
what the problem is that it's always that.
Are you mad at me?
All right, next one.
Bottom line, the president has taken a massive, massive gamble here. Some chance it works out. I'm, as a member of Congress, disturbed that this was undertaken without congressional approval. There's not much ambiguity in the Constitution about who gets to approve these things. But bottom line is, we don't know. And if you look at the three conflicts I just mentioned, I would keep the optimism under the hat for a little while yet.
So, the congressional approval. I think this is like the only thing you can even do if you're a Democrat at this point, because again, like everyone, China, Hezbollah, everyone is against Iran. Nobody's on their side. The only person that even condemned the attack was Russia. They still didn't respond to us. Like, it's not something that we need to worry about. I think that these people were kind of like ISIS. They're a little crazy. So it seems like. That's my perspective on it. But yeah, the congressional approval thing, 2001 was when they dropped that whole thing. What's very interesting is, did you read that on the Mo News? Who got approved and who didn't for the bombings?
No.
You didn't notice that one? It was really funny. They were showing the people that actually, because they showed who didn't, like which bombings we never got congressional approval for. It was 1999. Bill Clinton was the first one for, he bombed Yemen. That was the first one. Then Obama did Obama did Afghanistan,
Yemen?
and then Yemen or some shit like that. Fucking Biden did fucking Yemen in this one. Fucking Trump did Libya and something else. They all basically, the whole thing is every president since they got this new bill, which the bill went through Congress, that allowed them to do these types of attacks, which essentially allows them emergency approval to do whatever they want. And then they got to tell Congress within 48 hours. And then Congress has the ability every time, and this is what's so like House of Cards, snaky, like shitty about Congress, is that you have these congressional members go out there and go, they should have got congressional approval because that's what's in the Constitution. But the fucking whole thing with the terrorist attack in 2001, with this whole concept, is that if you don't ask for congressional approval, you have to tell Congress within 48 hours, and they have the ability to reject it and make it a whole thing, impeach you, everything else. Nobody's against this attack. So the only thing we can speculate is, was you supposed to tell other people? That's kind of how I feel this is like, it's the only thing you can say if you're on the other side.
It feels pretty fucking nitpicky because this is some real shit. People are nervous. In my lifetime, I don't remember the last time that like I was genuinely this concerned for.
Well, people are nervous.
This has been like the thing that we have all been like on the like.
Well, people are nervous, but no one is dead. Again, no injuries. We successfully took out all weapons. Problem solved.
BBC said.
BBC said. Oh, this Trump-hating organization.
Damaged. I know. And because of that, I'm like, is this the truth or is this more Trump hate? And that is what
if it's not on Truth Social, it's not the truth.
it's going to be the most like unnerving, unwinding thing. People need to learn to not hate Trump anymore.
No,
and I know that is the craziest thing you could possibly say.
But what was the BBC report? Do they say that there's anything, or are they just fear-mongering?
Oh, they said that the sites that were hit, they were damaged. So they weren't obliterated. We're not out of the woods yet, essentially, is what was said.
That's a different type of claim, because there was the whole UN thing, because like a bunch of people, like a bunch of like liberal people were like, oh, they're nuclear sites, like what the fuck? And honestly, like as a citizen, just as a normal person, when I'm like reading this like tweet to tweet like through the Mo News, I'm like, I was thinking that was the first thing that went in my head. I'm like, wait a minute, we're blowing this up underground, but this is to remove enriched uranium, which is for what? Nuclear activity. All right. So then are we having a nuclear fallout from this? Especially with this being the biggest bomb that's
They also said no radiation.
Right.
So,
well, biggest bomb ever dropped, and we've never dropped this bomb before. Because that was the other thing that Mo News was saying, which is like, this bomb has never been dropped before. We ended up dropping 13 of these motherfuckers. And it's the biggest bomb that ever existed. We dropped 13 of them. And when you think about things like that, it's like, all right, great. The UN, the fucking World Council, Greta Thunberg, and everybody else, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't matter.
These massive penetrators?
The penetrators, yeah. But could the penetrators be doing crazy work that nobody, like, I don't care who you are as a researcher.
Hey.
How the fuck are you going to know?
Pause. Where'd Greta go?
She should be talking about these fucking bombs.
She should be in Iran.
Goddamn bullshit.
If she isn't on her way right now, she's not
That
real.
redheaded guy
She's
was
not
in
the
Iran?
real shit.
That redheaded guy was in Iran like a week before they dropped the nuke.
That redheaded fucking white guy, American simp, was in Iran having a great time with everybody.
And you don't see Thunberg anywhere. She's like, took my flight home, good night.
Also,
insane.
Greta, did you just give up on Gaza? You just gave up that easy?
Because like none of us are thinking about Gaza, so if you went and did something with Gaza now,
yeah,
might help out a little bit more.
That'd really say something.
Yeah.
If you went out there now,
maybe
you'd
now?
probably get away with it too, because it seems like they're busy with other stuff.
Seems like nobody's worried about Gaza right now.
Yeah, Greta, this is the time, dude.
Anybody checking the gates of Gaza?
Greta, obviously you can get a new boat, right?
Are you?
Greta, get out there. Come on, girl.
But isn't that the thing
Sleeping
with this
on.
whole thing? Like, I just thought about that. I was like, oh yeah, like open up the gates of Gaza and let them out. And I'm like, they're allowed to get out. Like, this is the whole thing with all this shit.
Are they?
Don't live in the fucking Middle East, people. If you have $100 or one sheep, fucking sell it. Get the fuck out. Get to America and buy yourself a Subway franchise. It's not doing well right now, but it's large and there's lots of them. And if you do receive a bankruptcy, you can get fallout money. And fallout money is a thing that only people in America have. So become an American citizen and live
Subway after like
free.
After everything with Jared, if Subway like sponsored Gaza refugee children, they're like,
just don't call them Palestinians.
We're making it right. We're giving back to the kids.
That's the solution. I think I just figured it out. That's the solution, Kelly.
American corporations need to step up.
They do, but also
people. What are you buying? If you're
stop saying the word Palestinian, it pisses off the Jews. Just stop it. Call them Gaza. Everybody's in Gaza. They're Gazans. Everybody Gaza. Gotta help the Gazas. That's it.
Gaza.
No more of this fucking Muslim Palestinian talk. You're pissing them off.
Let's all go.
They're pissing them off.
Jeffrey Epstein Island. Gaza. Zion.
It's very factual.
What should we be prepared for in terms of a response from Iran? As you said, that they've sponsored terrorism for nearly half a century. I mean, what should we be prepared for?
I think we have to be prepared for Iran to retaliate. And I join the president in his warning to the supreme leader of Iran that if he targets Americans, the military force he will see will make last night look like child's play. We have troops in the region. Iran has targeted Americans around the world in Marine barracks in Beirut, in barracks in Saudi Arabia. They've targeted embassies of countries around the world. For all we know, they may have gotten sleeper cells into the country during Joe Biden's wide open border. So the threats are serious, and we take them seriously. President Trump has no higher priority, as do I, than the safety of the American people. And again, the supreme leader and the Ayatollahs in Iran need to understand that President Trump means business. They have a chance to sue for peace here, to dismantle whatever remnants of their nuclear program remain, and to continue to actually survive. Because we haven't targeted the supreme leader, we haven't targeted their energy infrastructure, we haven't targeted other critical infrastructure. That's an implicit message that Iran still has things that they hold dear that neither the United States nor Israel has struck. Iran needs to heed President Trump's warning.
That was the best part.
Actually survive.
They need to remove everything, be losers, accept that they're law losing, and continue to survive. It was very much like
That's all any of us can do. All any of us can do is live.
But another point there being made now by the Cotton senator, I think was that Arkansas, something like that. So he's pointing out like what the whole Kathy Hochul thing is, which is like you're causing panic for no reason, this, that, and the third. I trust the Mo News. I trust the center of it, the actual journalist that's actually giving me the play-by-play. And that perspective has kind of given me a little bit of calm and understanding that the thing within the media right now, within the government, Congress, everybody, is this like wordplay that you'll probably hear on the fucking headlines all week, which is they're a regime that wants to last or they want to survive. And I mean, the more that I hear it on repeat, the more that it kind of concerns me because it's like, do you guys not know if they want to survive? Like, because I feel like if North Korea was doing this shit, everybody would be like, they don't want to survive. We need to stop this quickly. They're fucking crazy. But like with Iran, they're like, they're a real government. They want to survive. But every time that I hear like an official say it, I'm like, it's the more that I hear it as like a talking point, and less as like a actual defense of like them not attacking us. Like, do you think they're not going to attack us? Or is the Ayatollah like in a fucking mountain just like Osama bin Laden doing some crazy shit right now? Like, I don't know if we really know. Alex Jones might know.
We don't really know, but
he's here in Austin. We need to find him. You can fucking knock out Alex.
You get him on this pod.
Sir, we need to know.
Mr. Jones, America needs you.
The Ayatollah, what's up? Let's go.
So what I was saying before about like Iran retaliating, like sending more strikes on Israel is one thing. It honestly, I hate to say that it makes sense. It's the sensible next step. But what would really change things up would be a strike in America. And I'm just giving advice. Oh my God, that's literally what it sounds like. I'm like, if you really want to take it up a notch, if you really want to take it to the next level, another 9/11 is due. Oh, no.
But for real, like thinking about the 9/11 of it all, like,
they don't even need to. Actually, our own citizens are committing like terrorism over these insane ideologies.
All these little promises though that the Ayatollah has given, like, oh, we're gonna respond all this way, that way. We literally blew the fuck out of their whole fucking nation. Like, just like giant asshole gaping. And they didn't do anything. And it makes me think like Bush, they covered like I don't want to be super conspiracy theorist, but all I'll say is
do it.
steel beams
Go there.
don't fucking melt, and there were some bombs in the building, and maybe Osama bin Laden had a plot and some funding to get some guys to run some planes into a building, but you don't do all that on your own. There's a lot of Saudi Arabia involvement, if you look it up. But the whole fucking thing is, like, you just don't do it on your own. It's kind of like the moon landing, where you're now seeing, you're like, wait, Iran was apparently the guy that was funding Osama bin Laden, and Osama bin Laden fled from Yemen to move to Afghanistan, where he then fought the fucking Russian and communists in the 80s and 90s, and then became the leader of the Taliban in fucking Afghanistan. And then Iran funded this guy, this fucking religious kook out in the middle of nowhere in Afghanistan, to do this terrorist attack in America. And what Iran funded from this crazy farmer guy, religious kook from Iran, from Yemen and all that shit, they gave him enough money and resources that he was able to go and infiltrate 2 large buildings. And I'll say it again, Dick Cheney and fucking George W. Bush are wrong. It wasn't just 2 fucking goddamn planes. It was 2 planes and a bunch of bombs inside the fucking buildings. And if they were able to pull that all off on their own, and now here we are, exploding fucking nukes on their land, and their only response is, here, we'll shoot some more of the 300 missiles we have until we run out. It makes me think, just like the moon landing, like, maybe there's a little bit more to the 9/11 story. Maybe we let a little bit more happen so that we could hit a little harder. Like, not saying that we knew something might happen, and if we just let it go open, then everybody feel real bad.
The Muslim hate was pretty convenient too.
That's what I mean. Like, if it was just a plane that ran into the 97th fucking floor, and then George Bush is like, we have to go to Afghanistan and bomb. I'm like, whoa, hold up a minute.
If it was just a plane from like Russia, well, you got problems with Russia. But because it was a plane from, wait, where was the plane from? Where were the people from? Where are the people?
The plane was domestic.
Who built the plane?
All the planes were domestic, Kelly.
Shut the fuck up! I know. Shut up. Wait, who are the people who did it? Where were they from?
Well, technically they're from Canada because they came in over the Canadian border.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
They're Floridians because they trained how to learn how to fly a plane in Florida for 3 weeks.
Are you serious?
So you could call them Toronto Knights, you could call them Orlando Knights, or you could call them what they really are, which is like members of the Osama bin Laden family or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucking clearly to the Taliban that did it. They were clearly funded by Iran. But the thing is like, again, if our government is going to make us believe that Iran did all of 9/11, including putting bombs inside the fucking towers, which they don't want to talk about, but they're fucking explosions, then you got to explain how they got all that money.
So what you're saying now,
They don't have.
you're talking about Iran, but
They do it then.
we went to war with Iraq and Afghanistan. So explain.
Because they're proxies. Because they're all proxies for Iran.
Just like Israel is a proxy for U.S.
Yep. This is getting so fucking war deep.
Good luck, guys.
Get something.
Good luck, babe.
So one thing ought to be made clear, because I followed the American public debate intensely, and we made clear throughout that we are not dragging America into a war, and we are leaving it to the decision of the head of, the President of the United States and his team, because it had to do with America's national security interest, period. We are not intending, and we don't ask for America now to go to war because the Iranians are threatening Israel. The decision was taken because the Iranian nuclear program was a clear and present danger to the security interests of all the free world, especially the leader of the free world. And America, as the leader of the free world, was actually at risk from this program, and that is why it was the right step to do. As for how to exit from the war, that's now the moment where one thinks about diplomacy, but diplomacy has to be effective because previous diplomacy failed because the Iranians kept on lying constantly. We tried to prove it. It was actually previous American leaders who exposed the fact that Iran was trying to hide a lot of its clandestine military operations and missile development and nuclear program. And therefore, diplomacy has to be nuts and bolts and very clear so that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons.
So, who the fuck's that guy? Like, I thought we were talking about Netanyahu. Now there's like a president of fake Israel. Like, we were already talking about the fake nation of Israel. Now they got a fake president.
Fake president, fake nation.
It's like, oh, CNN, you need somebody else to interview. Netanyahu's on vacation tonight. So here's the president of Israel for the first time ever.
Wait, why? That was so weird to be like.
Never heard of that before. President of Israel. Who the fuck are you? Just made up some guy and just put him on CNN.
Oh, well, I am the stand-in president, Isaac.
Isaac? Excuse me. What happened to Netanyahu? He's in the bathroom?
Let's talk about Netanyahu's education.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we got one comment on the last episode. And it was...
We got a comment from a fan.
Look up Netanyahu's education.
So...
To which we did.
Now we're going to respond to our fan by saying...
Our fucking answers. So, let's start off with the thing that wasn't that weird, which is...
We're not anti-Semites, though. Just wait, hold on now. We're not really. We're joking.
America, boom, boom, bombs. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. We're kidding. Anyways.
Right now, I'm like mostly Team Hannity for dropping that video. A solid Instagram footage. He was like, oh, President gave me footage of a bomb? Drop this shit on Instagram.
I know exactly what I'll do with this.
Instagram real.
On my Insta.
Crazy if you would have put like a fucking Ted Cruz track.
Make it so everyone can see.
Springsteen just like born in the USA. Some of those cat fucking.
Oh my god. Dios mío. Netanyahu went to high school and college in the United States and grad school and then grad school again and then grad school again.
And President Netanyahu or Prime Minister or whatever he is, he also had a brother who died in Israel while he was at college. So that's why he decided to not go to college under his real name. He just had a fake name the whole time. And that's why, apparently. Also, everybody else in his family, besides his brother, lives in Pennsylvania.
It's a weird thing that, like, not many people are talking about. It's very strange. We're surprised.
I guess it's supposed to not be strange. Here's the thing. If you're Ted Cruz, this is not strange at all. This makes sense because Israel is we, and we is Israel. The Bible is America, and America is the Bible. And God has summoned Ted Cruz to destroy the fucking Iranians.
Let's give you an AI overview.
Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham having a beer and to just film it. I don't want anybody to know that.
That sounds hilarious. And also, like...
This week, I need...
Yeah, film it because I wouldn't want to be there.
I just want to know what they're saying. Because you know Lindsey Graham's like, we saw these missiles from fucking Starlink and blah, blah, blah.
Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, pursues education in the United States, notably attending MIT and Harvard. He earned a bachelor's degree in architecture from MIT in just 2.5 years, while also taking courses at Harvard. He even briefly paused his studies to serve in the Yom Kippur War. Additionally, he pursued a PhD at Dropsy College for Hebrew and Cognate Learning in Philadelphia.
Oh, so you're saying he's just smart. He went to MIT for an undergrad and got a master's at Harvard at the same exact time and asked for permission from the deans of both schools in order to do that. And then it's super normal to do something like that because he's Jewish and Jewish people are that smart.
That's called having money.
At all.
That's called having money.
Oh,
guys.
Yeah, it was just money.
Oh, you graduated in 2.5 years? Sounds like you were able to fully commit yourself to your studies because you weren't having to work 2 other fucking jobs at the same time.
It sounds like you were able to pay for double the amount of school.
Crazy.
How did you do that?
Actually, this guy's just so smart.
You must be really smart.
He's just so intelligent. He's a genius, and that's why they wanted. They said, "Come to our schools forever. Come to our schools." And he said, "Okay."
$800, but only he can do it because he's smart.
Only he can do it because of how smart he is. Also, he said, coincidentally, here is so much money from.
Shh, mommy.
I'm just guessing.
Also, not gonna get the degree under my real name. Gonna blame my brother who's in Israel. Everyone else in my family was in Pennsylvania. Nothing weird about that.
The Israeli army, like I think even if you're like a dual citizen. Wait, I don't even know if I'm right about that. The Israeli army still does like the draft program.
Yeah.
Where you're like, it's not necessarily the draft program. Yeah, it's like anybody has to do it. Everybody has to do it.
But it's also, it's the same thing as me asking the question at the beginning of the episode of like, are the Jews part of Israel? And they're like, well, blah, 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 blah. It's the same fucking thing. Like, the thing that broke me with Israel being a real fucking actual state at all was the fact that Albert Einstein was literally the second candidate for potentially being the first prime minister of Israel. Like, he was going to do it. And they're like, no. And then they did the other guy.
You said, here.
They're like, this guy has a bigger nose, sir. All right. Let's see here. So that was 5, right?
Where was his high school?
It was Pennsylvania.
Between 1956 and 1958, and again from 1963 to 1967, his family lived in the United States in Cheltenham Township, Pennsylvania, a suburb of Philadelphia. Well, his father Netanyahu, taught at Dropsy College. He attended and graduated from Cheltenham High School, was active in the debate club, chess club, and soccer.
The chess club. If you're in chess club, clearly a Jew.
It says he and his brother grew dissatisfied with what they saw as the superficial way of life they encountered in the area, including the prevalent youth counterculture movement.
After smelling the air of Yale, Harvard, and MIT, they went...
And the liberal sensibilities of the Reform Synagogue.
Israel. Said somebody from the fucking 1970s. Like, this is insane.
He returned in 1967 after graduating from high school to enlist in the Israel Defense Forces.
I wonder why he did that in the 60s. When there's literally like an Iranian revolt right next door. Yeah. Yeah. Quick, get both those degrees. The last one being political science from Harvard. Quickly.
Yeah.
One United States fucking... Yeah. Let's quickly.
It doesn't sound... It does not sound like a terrible track record. It sounds like a good pedigree. The thing that is so confusing is that, like, from high school to all of his higher education was all in America. And he went to Israel for a second for, like, several wars. Man, I guess he fought for Israel. I guess he still is. I guess he's never stopped fighting for Israel. Got to give it to the guy. So if the rest of the world has to die and burn, Israel, the promised land.
Right. The same college that also gave a political science degree master's to Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and JFK.
Wow. Just kidding. Yeah, that's just
just there for no reason.
and that's just called a cult. Oh, yeah. Synchronicity, nepotism.
This was not constitutional, was not lawful in the absence of a declaration by Congress. And so the administration should have come to Congress. We will have a vote on a war powers resolution. But there's a reason to bring this to Congress, and it is you want the Congress bought in. You want the American people bought in on an action this substantial that could lead to a major outbreak of war.
I hate Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff looked like a giant penis head. That's all I gotta say about that. You got anything on Adam Schiff?
Looking like a giant penis head.
Well, let me drill down on what was accomplished, because there's a report this morning in the New York Times that Fordo, that deep underground enrichment facility, was severely damaged but not fully destroyed. But the president said last night the enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Can we say that definitively, or are we just not sure yet? I mean, have those facilities been obliterated?
Well, John, what was severely damaged versus obliterated, I'm not exactly sure what the difference is. What we know is that the nuclear program back substantially. And again, John, I don't want to get into very sensitive intelligence about what we know, but I feel extremely confident, and I can say to the American people with great confidence that they are much further away from a nuclear program today than they were 24 hours ago. That was the objective of the mission, to destroy that Fordo nuclear site and, of course, do some damage to the other sites as well. But we feel very confident that the Fordo nuclear site was substantially set back, and that was our...
Fair point. Hey, what is the difference between obliterated and severely damaged? What are we talking about here?
Why is it always that, like, everyone in the world is, like, on a TikTok brain, including the media, and then JD comes in and actually answers the question like our fucking second grade teacher?
Because he's from Appalachia and he's a real homie. He's a real one.
Like, he always is so educated. So like, okay, well, let me repeat back to you the fucking dumb ass thing you just said.
It was so funny. Cash Patel was, everyone is like,
not good at answering.
He was just bumble fucking over all his words. It wasn't even no answer, fucking guy. And JD Vance, on the other hand, must have sucked. Must have sucked to see each other in the office later on and be like, your answer was better than mine. And JD Vance is on Theo Vaughn at the same time, was like, this is what it was. Gave like a leader's answer.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't, like, if JD wants to run, I don't know how he loses.
Yeah.
Because you literally can't you can't beat him.
He's so real.
Like, fucking knows the answer and will listen to the question and respond genuinely. Not even just articulately, but genuinely.
I'll tell you what his one thing is, and it's the dark side of exactly that. And it's what like a lot of us have from Appalachia. It's the bombastic like reaction stuff is what, you know, where he got so mad like when they were talking to like the Prime Minister of Ukraine, the Prime Minister's president.
Like,
yeah,
you know you're right, and so you kind of lean.
He just starts like screaming. Yeah, that's what a lot of us do. We have like emotional breaking points where we just get like feral and start like because it's just that, like, when you keep it so real all the time, and when someone is being so fake or like doing something dumb and it's so painfully fucking obvious, and it's the kind of thing that you never get away with, and you're just watching them do it, and it's like, stop. Oh, not you, Ralph. Oh my God, Ralph. I was gonna go, Ralph, come here. It wasn't about you.
Drink some water and deal with the trauma that you
Jesus. I need to cool out.
I think you're very right about that. And I also just gonna add that with JD Vance though, I don't think I've ever seen him one-on-one not be able to pull back though. Marco Rubio pulled a full Brett Kavanaugh today. JD Vance, that's what you're essentially saying.
JD is so good one-on-one until...
Right. When he was in that room, though, when he felt right, he felt like he could just take the room, and he actually made it.
I don't know if he felt right. I would almost say he felt like the president of the United States was being disrespected. And that's another thing. Because this is another Appalachian
well, that was the thing.
core value.
Still genuine.
Not a lot of us will be like, I'm going to go out of my way to make my whole thing. Because, come here, Ralph, you sweet boy. Oh my God, what did I need to stop? Chewing on the corner of the cop squeak toy. Jealous. Remind me what I was saying, please.
I think we were just getting at JD Vance and the fact that he just fucking.
So with JD, the thing is, probably does not have much of an ego. Probably is not would not desire for you to like disrespect him. Like that's not gonna fly. But he's not like, I'm right, you're wrong. I think what was happening was he saw the president of the United States being disrespected, and that was a breaking point for him. And he came to like the defense of not only like the president, but like the territory this man presides over. So just America fully.
Again, JD one-on-one, ask any living journalist, even Mo News, to ask him a question about how he got out of line against Ukraine in that meeting, and JD is going to be able to answer why he yelled at him more articulately than anyone else.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, I don't know if he decides he wants to sign up to fucking run. I don't know how you beat him, regardless, even if Trump gives the endorsement, because I don't know in the media him answering questions versus everybody else. My favorite JD Vance story ever, because he's also just a fucking straight up guy and very humble, like you were saying. And it's like he was talking about how him and his
that's fam. That's Ohana.
Well, and he was also talking about how him and his wife, like they went to the White House Theater, like that Trump had invited him to the White House Theater, and he was sitting at Joe Rogan talking about this, and he was like, "Yeah, or no, I think it was Theo Von." He was like, "Yeah, we went and watched Gladiator 2." He's like, and then Theo's like, "You watched Gladiator 2 in the White House?" He's like, "Yeah," and immediately you like see the light, and you're like, "Yeah," because it's like that's that's how you.
This is an extremely relatable human being. The reason why people don't like him is his party, and it just lends to the whole debate. Like, come on, what are we really doing anymore? Like, people are not actually that divided, or nobody is really like strictly on this side or the other. And if you are, you're subscribing to a cult. And that's not very American, except maybe it is. But hey, wake up. I mean,
but they look really silly too online, like the Facebook people now. Like you'll say something, and then like you'll see the two sides just go at each other, and then you'll see people in the middle be like, I can't believe these people are this insane. Like it's kind of like just
guys, can we like
poking a bear and being
can we not?
Hey, who's crazy around here? And they're like, I'm crazy. I'll fucking get it.
People like make it their personalities. They're like, my superior morality as a liberal is ingrained in my personality and my being, and then it's like my traditional values as a conservative are ingrained in my personality. It means being.
This is a statement from Donald Trump, quote, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran," etc. I agree. And I want to tell you something. Not only is this news that I've just heard this second alarming, that all of you have just heard, but it is so grossly unconstitutional. All of you know that the only entity that can take this country to war is the U.S. Congress. The president does not have the right.
I just want to reiterate again that constitutionally, yes, you're supposed to tell Congress before you declare war. However, in 2001, we made a law where you can go and make these attacks. And then as long as you tell them within 48 hours, they have the ability to say yes, no, etc. Nobody's going to fucking put up a fight. He's definitely telling them 48 hours afterwards. Everyone that's sitting here on the left or right that's a House rep or a senator is being hypocritical of something that they're also supporting. So it's very
confusing.
Weird to fucking hear.
Very catch-22, very double-edged sword. Yeah.
Running for president, clearly. I mean, the fucking guy. This guy's already running for president. There's not 500 people when he's reading the tweet out loud.
Running for president on a platform of, I hate Trump just like the rest of you guys, and I'm not good with any of this.
And it's like oligarchy. You see the oligarchy? Like again, reference to Russia, reference to the Russian hoax. Like, Trump's still tied to Russia. We're going to end this Kings thing.
Give it up!
Bro.
Calm down. Give it up, dude. The no Kings thing.
Fucking 3 years early. Guy's fucking how old? How can he even do this? Is he just trying to make money? He can't possibly be thinking that he's going to fucking win after Biden. He's older than Biden. And I'm sorry, Bernie, no.
There was a very good time for Bernie, and it came and went. The Democratic, the DNC ruined it.
Pretty much.
You know what?
But then he decided to be part of the DNC. He was like, you know what? For the next 20 years, I'm going to make every millennial hate me.
He's like
being part of fucking Hillary's backbone. I'm just going to get paid by her and let you all just eat it.
Maybe. I hope you're not talking about Bernie, because everybody loves Bernie.
Einstein trained out 3 years before a presidential election. Why is he doing a campaign speech?
No one knows.
What is he doing?
Weird.
Let me read this tweet out loud. There's no fucking... He's not running for anything.
Dead ass, dude.
In Oklahoma. The man's from fucking what? New Hampshire?
Oh, there's like a subset of people that still believe in Bernie so hard they can't let it go. The DNC may have created a monster.
Comic-Con in fucking Tulsa, Oklahoma.
The DNC may have created a monster. Where everyone's like, we can't let this go. The last time the DNC made the greatest choices was when Biden was running, but then he wasn't running anymore because they committed mutiny and replaced him with Kamala. And that was a great look. That was a very organized and clean and good look for the Democratic Party, and no one at all worried that maybe all of them were a bunch of liars pretending about Joe Biden being okay. So,
first up, Secretary of Defense.
As President Trump has stated, the United States does not seek war. But let me be clear. We will act swiftly and decisively when our people, our partners, or our interests are threatened. Iran should listen to the President of the United States and know that he means it, every word. I want to give congratulations to our Commander-in-Chief. It was an honor to watch him lead last night and throughout, and to our great American warriors on this successful operation. God bless our troops. God bless America. And we give glory to God for his providence and continue to ask for his protection.
You're better than the fat black guy. I'll say that. I'll say that much.
kind of okay. I'm like, it's what I'm saying about, like, let's all get on board with, like, a better, like, unite identity than we hate Trump, right? Because unfortunately, he is the president. And so...
And unfortunately, we can't all be Team Iran.
We do not move forward unless we move forward together. So let's get on the same page and get organized.
Guys, nobody wants to be Team Iran. We can try as hard as we want to. It's not going to work out.
Alex and I are going to keep trying just in case.
Okay. But we got two people left here. We got two people to answer for all of this madness. First, Donald Trump, and then Mr. Netanyahu, Pennsylvania, fucking McGee himself. Goddamn fucking Harvard motherfucker.
American education.
American education.
High school and up.
We need to
still fought in Israel's wars. Still fought in Israel's wars, if you can believe it. If you can believe it, this guy is not afraid of war.
But first, our very American president. This man is a reality TV show host.
It's literally a cheeseburger.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
A lot easier.
Damn, boy!
Man, that man has wanted to do a war style statement for a long time. He's like, I told you, motherfuckers.
He's been rehearsing this.
You said no. So we lit some fucking earthquakes in the Middle East.
America, fuck yeah.
Fucking America. All right, Netanyahu. Still, gotta give it to Kanye. Also, Kanye dropped 3 tracks. Bully. Nobody wants to listen to Bully though because they censored the motherfucker and stuff. And I just want everybody to remember that Kanye was the man who stood on Alex Jones with a net and a yoo-hoo and explained to us who Netanyahu was before any of us knew who the fuck this man was.
Please stop coming for sweet baby Kanye.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
So this is a good example of too much love for Trump. So don't do that either. Don't blindly hate him and don't blindly praise him for doing something that you wanted.
Well, it's also, again, it's the composure element. Trump has the composure, so does JD Vance. That's why you're making fun of what they say, but you don't make fun of what they do.
Yeah, okay. JD Vance looks way more composed than the other two guys standing around Trump. They're all like,
more composed than everybody. But,
JD Vance is just like,
Netanyahu, it concerns me because there's like a little bit of like, I fucking am so excited that you bombed this motherfucker and we get to murder this like it's very like it's like amped up. Like, and I'm like, aren't you a politician? Didn't you go to Harvard and MIT at the same time? weren't you educated on how to be a leader and stay composed?
It's very propaganda.
He's very fucking Randy Savage right now.
I know that our president does like a lot of like public talks and he like communicates a lot with the public, but like that felt a little different.
It was amped. It was like amped up. It was like, thank you guys so much. We fucking rule.
I'll tell you what to think. It's going well. It's what we all want.
He looked like he got his dick sucked like 5 seconds ago.
So happy.
Too much happy. You gotta turn that down. Somebody turn that fucking down.
At least, like, I don't know. Try to hide it a little bit that you want the rest of the Middle East to like die so bad.
What was the guy's name again? What do they call him? The Ayatollah. Mr. Ayatollah. Take that fucking smirk off of fucking this little Jewish guy's face. We don't care. We're America. Alright? Don't fuck with us anymore. No bombs from fucking New York or any of that shit like Cultural saying. You gotta leave us alone. But if you want to bomb the Jewish guy because he's being weird about Trump, I'm fine with it. I feel like we're all fine with it. Right?
Mr. Ayatollah, I think my dog just farted. If you want any tips on how to gas the public into submission, might I recommend my own dog's farts?
I do smell it very probably.
Burning my nose.
Getting gassed out Iranian style. Like, we're not gonna die, we're just gonna have to smell it forever.
Ralph, come here. Come here, Ralph.
The Iranian gassing.
Come here, Ralph.
Ralph, the Iranian gasser.
Might I introduce the answer to all of your issues, Mr. Ralph himself, the gas master. Come here. Come here, my son.
It's all about Jerry.
Come here, my son.
Instead of Ralph, but Ralph is here too.
Jerry is a very important character in our lives and in Ralph's life. But what is really remarkable are the horrible farts coming out of this sweet black bear.
Jerry, is it okay for the Ayatollah to bomb the little Jewish man? No, Trump said only what Lindsey Graham says.
I think if he met me, then we could be friends and I could really help him. I could fix what he needs fixed.
If we get peace in the Middle East, how's Lockheed Martin make money? Huh? How does Lockheed Martin make money?
With kisses. Lockheed Martin. I like those guys. They give good kisses.
Iran, nice little 3 kisses.
Lockheed Martin, you give such good kisses.
Thanks for the prank on Iran. That's so good.
Iran, here's 3 good kisses. But did you obliterate or did you mostly destroy the uranium?
Yeah, what should you do?
The active uranium.
Video from Hannity, but like, maybe.
Is it uranium or is it my uranium? I think it's iranium.
And that's liaranium. Good night.
And God bless America.
Save the children, $5 only if you are a Kanye fan in the super chat.
And let us know about Gaza.
Yeah.
We're worried. We don't know if we should be, but